Hi, and welcome back to Dirty Bernie's Garage. Today we're going to be doing something just a tad different than normal. This is something I've actually enjoyed longer than I did small engines, which is bicycles. I got a friend of mine, she's looking for a bicycle on a budget, the usual deal. She was asking me about finding one for her. I found one for her at a very reasonable price, and we got to give this bike a refurb. I figured since people like to follow me along on small engines and stuff, might be able to show you a couple tips or tricks about bicycles, some rust removal things, how to maintain them and whatnot. Maybe even if you got kids, for your own sake, it might be worthwhile. But anyway, give you a quick walk around. I'm going to show you what we're going to be doing here. This is like a Walmart type bicycle. It's an old beach cruiser. This bicycle, believe it or not, has not sat outside very long, but the quality of the chrome is just, it's not there anymore. See, we got some rust here. Your sprocket's all rusted up and whatnot. And one of the main issues with these bikes is the quality of the assembly. We're going to go inside the bearings and the sprocket and the forks. I'm going to show you exactly what they use for grease, which is nothing and not a whole lot of it and everything. But for the most part, and then we're going to go ahead and clean everything up, get the paint cleaned up, and all, it kind of make it into a brand new bike again for her. So stay tuned. We're going to have this thing flipped over in the garage here shortly, and we're going to start taking it apart. All right, guys. Starting to look like a kind of a sad state of affairs here. But, hey, remember, you've seen me do this with mowers, too. We're going to take this bike and transform it into something beautiful. Quick real history on this thing. This bike actually belonged to my next door neighbor. And when I first moved here, that's actually how I met her. I was over there, playing in the garage and whatnot, and she pushed this bike over here and asked me to air up the tires, which I did and everything, and that started off a great friendship. I love her to death. But anyway, she ended up buying a car and whatnot and everything. The bike got parked in the garage, and when I, later on, just recently, a coworker asked me about a bicycle, and the thing just popped into my head. So I went over and asked her about it. She said, yeah, I'll sell it. So here it is. So we're going to have to, we got a lot of areas to tackle here. One thing that I actually kind of find it funny, if you see this little tab here, that should be on the outside, and it's going to go in that little hole here. So whoever actually put this bicycle together in the first place didn't do it right. But now, from the factory, when these bikes are assembled, these rims are outsourced, and meaning they come in to the factory already pre-assembled and everything. And you're gonna notice they're spending like $1 million. Both of them do. So we're not gonna deal with those today. Now, if this bike had come from the scrapyard like a lot of other ones that I've done in the past, I would take both these rims apart and re-grease them and everything, but these rims are spinning wonderful. So we're gonna leave them alone. But that sprocket, we gotta tackle that. I got a lot of rust, obviously. This crank is, yeah, I don't really like that. I'm gonna try and clean it up as best I can. If it doesn't clean up as good as I want, I'll go up to the farm and grab another one. I got them in stock. But anyway, what we're gonna do next, we're gonna go ahead and pull this rear wheel off. We're gonna pull this front wheel off. We're gonna get this sprocket out of here. So give me a minute here. All right, guys, so now it's time to gut this thing. So I'm going to start off taking the front wheel off. There's a couple bolts here. On your rear wheel, we have the, go ahead and pedal it and everything. And when you put your steps backwards, that's going to activate the coaster brake, which the arm is right here. All right, there's a little bolt that holds that on there. This is a little arm. That's your brake on this thing. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take both wheels off real quick. So go ahead and get that done and over with. That should be good, I hope. Alright, so go ahead and pop that out of there. Yeah, one front wheel removed. Go ahead and pop that coaster brake arm out of there like I showed you. I got all these different bolts going in different bins right now, which I will show at a later date. Because we gotta take all these bolts and clean them up and whatnot. But your main thing right now is 15 millimeter and 10 millimeter. They're your two best friends on this bike. That's pretty much what fits everything on this bike as far as bolts. So I'm gonna go ahead and I loosen those up. I'm gonna pop the sprocket off of there. There goes your rear wheel. Now, the main problem, not problem, but the main thing here, as far as this goes, on your sprocket side, the pedal and the sprocket, when you undo them, they're going to be your normal threads. But the other side here, it's going to be the actual opposite of the actual threads. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. That all goes out the window on this side of the crank. So basically, when you're taking this thing off, you can act like you're tightening it, but you're actually going to be loosening it. So I'm going to go ahead and do so. Don't mind me, I still got a little bit of a cold going on. Alright, so there's that pedal. Then we're going to go ahead and take a set of channel locks. There's I'll show you this in a second when I take it off of there. There's that. It's called your this is your actual hold down nut. And then there's this little washer here that is, well, it's kind of a spacer, but it's actually a lockdown also. Then there's one more one you gotta get out. And the same thing, it goes the opposite threads. And thread that out of there. Is that? And take that out. Now, when you're taking these sprockets out, you actually got to go in a kind of a certain direction Sometimes, yeah, like so. It's really now I want you to notice. Here is the bearings for the sprocket. Now they had a lot of rust on there also. These bearings should be actually coated with grease, and they are not. I mean, they're more coated with rust than anything. They're pathetic. I'm going to show you more on that in a little bit. We're going to put these in a bucket. But that's your main issue with these bicycles right now. They don't put any grease on those bearings when they're putting these bikes together. And if you were to buy one of these bikes and actually ride it, the bearings fall apart in very short order because they are not packed. So we're gonna brush up on that in a little bit here shortly, but we'll go from there with it. Just give me a minute, and we're gonna take apart the front end next. All right, guys, we're starting to look like a kind of a stripped down bike here. That's pretty much all that's left. Only thing now, we got to take the front end apart on this thing. So right here, you know, your handlebars and everything. This is called your gooseneck, okay? And we have a bolt going through the center of it, which we got to loosen up. It's going to take a 40mm Allen bolt. We're going to go ahead and loosen that up, and I'm going to show you a little trick to this whole thing. So give me a second here. Alright, yeah, there we go. Alright, so as far as this bolt, this is called, well, from what I've always been told, it's called a fingernail. And it's basically a tension that holds this gooseneck into the forks themselves. So what you're going to do, go ahead and loosen it up to the point where the bolt's sticking out of the gooseneck a little bit. Like so. Oh, now things are going to fall over on me. And of course, it's always going to be a problem of some sort. There we go. So I got the bolt sticking up just a tad. And take a small hammer here. Just tap it down just a little bit. Like so. And what's going to happen, well, it should loosen up for you. Yeah. Maybe not. Well, part of the problem is the corrosion holding it in there. But give me a second here and I will show you the whole ordeal here. All right, sorry guys, that last clip got kind of messed up. This neck was basically welded right into the forks. Another chemical deal where just the corrosion locked it to the metal and everything. I was able to get it out, just took a little extra wrestling. But anyway, what I wanted to point out, this is that deal I was telling you about. It's called your fingernail. And what happens is, as you tighten it, it goes like this, and it basically creates a wedge right there, and that's what's going to hold it into your forks. So, what I did originally was I unloosened the bolt and had it up like so. Then you take a hammer and you tap it down, and that's going to release your thing. And normally this neck would pop right out, but as I said, I had to wrestle with it. We got it. I'll go ahead after. I'll take the wire wheel, clean this neck up, throw a little clear coat on it, just so it won't do that again, hopefully. But I went ahead and pulled the forks as soon as I got it out of there. This is that bottom bearing cup. Like I said, we got some rust going on. I want to take care of that. Here's the bearings for it. They're not quite as bad as the sprocket bearings as far as rust and whatnot, but they're a little bit. And we're going to go ahead and clean all this up and re-grease them and whatnot. But that's basically your whole assembly that's going to hold your forks together. Up next, the only thing I got left on this bike, I gave the chain out of it. But I'll give you a quick video on that real quick, and then we're going to start the cleaning process of everything. All right, guys, we're getting pretty close to the end here, stripping this thing. Up next, we got to go ahead and get this chain off of here. Now, the older bikes, they would have what's called a master link. On the single speed coaster brake bikes or whatnot, they'd have a master link where you could actually take one link out and, you know, easily remove the chain. These newer bikes no longer have master links. It's just the whole chain is, you know, pressed together just like a regular chain would be. So you're actually going to have to pop one of these links out. So basically what you're going to do, you got a pin here and a pin here. You're going to have to take them and push them through with a punch. Now, the easiest way is I actually have a tool called a chain breaker that is designed just for this purpose. And I do own one, but it's up at the farm right now. So I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way, which is you just take an old pipe wrench, have the end, you know, fairly tight, put it like so. And then you just take your little punch with a hammer, pop a couple of the pins out, and then you can take the chain apart. So that's what we're going to be doing next. And then after that, I'm going to start taking some of this rusty stuff and get it soaking, get it ready to go. And I'll show you that very shortly. All right, now it's kind of time for a lesson on rust removal. As you can see, I got some of the stuff, the sprocket, the chain, that rusty cup, one of the nuts for the forks and everything. We got it in the thing here. All right. Just a regular old vinegar. That's all you need. We're going to go ahead and put that in there. Like such. All right, we're gonna go ahead and let this stuff soak, usually around 24 hours or so. That vinegar is gonna eat the rust right off of there, or it'll eat the majority of it off anyway. This is a tried and true method for cleaning rust. You know, stuff like this, instead of sitting here killing yourself trying to get it, just let the vinegar work for you. We're gonna let this thing sit, say 24 hours or so. And then I will be back to you. We'll show you the results. And also with the vinegar, you have to actually neutralize it once you're done too, because vinegar is full of acid. So anyway, that's good for right now. We'll go ahead and let that do its magic. Well, only other thing we really got left, I noticed, on this rear fender, the bracket. That's pretty much rusted up. That's not going to come back. But what I am going to do, I'm going to pull it off. We're going to sand it down and paint it. What I have to do right now, it's about, say, probably about 10 degrees out here, 15 degrees so far. So I have to take all my paint and whatnot, put it in the house, let it warm up. And any parts that are going to be painted, clear coated or whatever, they're going to go in the house as well. We're going to let them warm up in the house. Bring them outside, paint them real quick, and then put them right back in the house and just let them dry in there because it's too cold out here for this. So we'll be back shortly. All right, guys. So I think that's going to about wrap it up for this episode. We got this thing pretty much gutted down about as much as we can. A little more to go, but nothing Nothing too awful major. As I said, during the week, I'm going to be doing a little more and everything. And then we're going to be doing episode number 2 on this one next week, where I'm going to show you a little bit about getting the paint ready on it, repacking those bearings. There's a few other odds and ends and everything. But the most important part about episode 2 is going to be the reveal. The woman that owns this bike, like I said, she's a good friend of mine. I talked to her the other day. She's actually never seen this thing in person yet. I showed her a picture of it when she first, when she was looking, and I found it and everything. She agreed to buy it right on the spot. She gave me the money. I gave the other girl the money, blah, blah, blah. So she's never seen this bike yet. She's bought some accessories for it, which I will be putting on in the end and everything. And then we're going to show it to her, and she's going to see it for the first time live on camera here with me. So I would definitely stay tuned for this one, and it ought to be interesting. So until then, you guys have a great week, and I thank you for watching this video, and we will catch you later.